But the problem is sometimes these ladies go to church and they sit under these pulpits or they sit under these pastors who lie to them and feed them all this garbage. Don't talk about transformation. Don't talk about humility. Don't talk about, pride. Don't talk about the internal qualities. They just say, if you just pray, if you just go to Bible study, if you just give me tithe and offering, the God's going to bless you. And then they get upset when it doesn't happen because it was a lie. Go back. Okay.
Black women internalizing this idea that if you are nice enough, pleasant enough, friendly enough, fit enough, modest enough, chaste enough, that one day the 6 foot tall $250,000 earner of your dreams is gonna look at you. No.
So y'all notice she didn't say if you're nice enough or modest enough or whatever, that a guy with good character that you get along with is gonna love you and you guys are gonna live happily ever after. Or, a guy with a good heart, a God-fearing man. She didn't say that. She said a 6 foot tall, $250,000 earning, successful man is going to. So again, there's these high qualifications. She's already telling you what she wants and what these kind of women want. 6 foot or taller, $250,000 earning or taller, likely highly educated, highly successful in these circles, high social status. This is what these women are wanting. So she's saying, oh, these women get mad that just because they pray, they're not getting the top 10, 5, 1% of men. And I'm like, well, that's the problem. First off, let's just break this down. If you are a woman of God, or you are a Christian woman, you say you want a godly man, you can't say you want a godly man in one instance and then put all these extra worldly, carnal, or fleshly qualifications on it. God may send you a dude who's 5'6", but he has a good heart and he's God-fearing. He may send you a dude that's not making 6 figures. You know what I mean? Because if you look at the Messiah himself, he was not the tall, handsome, big one with all this money. He was on a donkey, a humble dude on the donkey, hanging out with the sinners of the society, with the poor people of the society. He was not trying to actively climb the social status. So if you yourself are serving that, or serving the person who said, I have come to serve, I have come to be a servant. If you yourself call yourself a worshiper of that being, then you can't now say, okay, I'm going to follow after God. I'm going to be humble, but then now put all of these extra qualifications on the kind of husband that God needs to send you. He may send you a man that's humble. He may not have a degree. I said the dude may be 5'5", but he has a good heart, but he has a good character, but he's God-fearing, but he knows how to pray for you, but he's a hard worker. But the problem is sometimes these ladies go to church and they sit under these pulpits or they sit under these pastors who lie to them and feed them all this garbage. Don't talk about transformation. Don't talk about humility. Don't talk about, pride. Don't talk about the internal qualities. They just say, if you just pray, if you just go to Bible study, if you just give me tithe and offering, the God's going to bless you. And then they get upset when it doesn't happen because it was a lie. It was like, God never said, if you give $100 every single day, then on the 7th day, I'm going to send you a 6'6", 600,000 earning man. God, he never said that. That was never guaranteed. It was not guaranteed. If you just pray enough, then God's going to send you a husband. That was never a component of the gospel. So let it be clear, that has nothing to do with God. A woman having high expectations and thinking that God has to meet them, that has nothing to do with God. That is, maybe somebody lied to you, or maybe you have some qualifications, or maybe you have some desires that are maybe prideful, maybe they are beyond your level, or maybe they are on your level, but you just need to figure out how to actually be in a relationship with a person. But like I said, it's not God's fault. It's not God's fault. And also, let it be clear, if you're wanting the top 10%, because that's essentially what she just described, maybe even the top 1%, the person who's at least 6 foot tall, which already now you're the minority, person who's making $250,000, that already is a minority. College educated, that's a minority. He's Black, that's a minority. If you're wanting a really, really small percentage of the male population, And then you're going with this kind of willy-nilly, I'm just gonna just kind of float and then I'm gonna meet him, and you're not actively preparing yourself and being proactive and being competitive, well, of course you're not gonna have results, because you're wanting a man that is incredibly unique. You're wanting somebody that already has a lot of women probably competing for him, and you're not willing to compete also. So if you're not willing to be in that position, if you're not willing to make yourself available or whatever it may be, then you cannot be surprised when things don't happen. That is not God's fault. It is not the universe's fault. It's not because you are meant to be single as a woman. It's just, okay, there's some missing pieces here. Are your expectations realistic? Are you even marriageable? And are you even actively putting yourself in a position to be married, to be found? Or are you hiding in a bushel over here and you're in prayer meetings every 15 seconds? Or you're not, you're at, picketing on lines, or you're on these I hate man groups every 15 seconds, but then mad secretly that you're not married. It's like again, you have to be practical with this stuff. Like, we do have a part to play, and I'm not saying that you have to force it, but we want to be realistic, honestly, about where we're at. Like I said, if you are wanting a top 10%er, then what does he want? And if what he wants to you is oppressive or misogynistic, then you can't try to shame him into thinking differently. If men on that level have already said, we prefer women who don't have kids, we prefer women who are at a certain size, we prefer women who are, if they've said that, and you think their desires are misogynistic or their desires are fill in the blank, then again, you can't be mad if you don't end up with that kind of man. And it's also not the universe's fault. It's not God's fault. It's not that women are, it's none of that. It's just, are you willing to budge? You know what I mean? So truly, water seeks its own level. And I think sometimes there are women out there who just are not into the men who want them, or they want men who are above their rank. I don't know how else to put it. And like I said, career does not mean that you having a PhD does not guarantee that you're going to be dating somebody who's a PhD. Does not guarantee you're going to be getting, it doesn't. You may have access to those men, maybe in college or in maybe particular work environments. But at the end of the day, if you don't look the part and you don't have the personality or the temperament that that particular man is wanting, it's a no deal. Let's